are you? Because it's different what you do from who you are. Often people, you ask the question, who are you? And they will tell you, oh, I'm an architect, I'm an engineer. No, actually, who are you as a person?
Mm.
And I had that moment where I asked that question to myself. And I realized at that time that what I was doing wasn't me. And I thought, this is probably the right time at this point in my life to make this change. So I decided to reframe my life and to find my true passions where my art was. And because my art is in working with people, helping people, um, walking with them through a process and a journey that brings them to a different place, I decided to pursue a new career in coaching. And that's when I founded my company, my business, Axeris Studio. Right now, it's only me. Who knows, maybe someday will change. But so far, it's been extremely rewarding.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to Soulmates and Suitcases. My name is Lisa Brierley, and on the screen, I think you can see here is my husband Scott Brierley, my co-host. And if you are new to Soulmates and Suitcases, our podcast is a space where we have very honest and open conversations about healing and growth and relationships, resilience, and sharing all those stories that, of course, have shaped us. And you can find all our episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and we are new to the TrueFans.fm platform, which I'm still getting that to roll off my tongue these days. And we also have our special guest here today, so we'd like to welcome Stefano Paolinelli. I'm going to get it, Paolinelli. Hi, Stefano.
Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Scott. It's very
Good
nice
morning.
to be here with you.
It's great to have you. So I'll tell you a little bit about Stefano and then we'll jump right into our conversation. So Stefano is a life and career coach, as well a leadership educator and founder of Axeris Studio. And Stefano's been most of his life, 30 years of federal and corporate experience, but is now doing the major shift in life. And we love hearing these stories. He's kind of reached a pivotal point in his life that's kind of made him stop and do a turn. So we're going to have a good conversation, I believe, today, Stefano. So maybe you can start us off, Stefano. Tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe your life before the shift.
Absolutely. So I came to the United States when I was very young. I was in my early 20s, right after graduating, and I fell in love with someone, and the rest is history. We got married, we built a family, and there were so many obligations for me, having a family, a new family with young kids. So I got into a career that maybe wasn't what I was really dreaming of. And I got into the IT field. My personality based on the Myers-Briggs is an INFJ, so I'm very far from being an engineer or somebody technical. But my passion was working with people, building relationships. So I focus very much on managing teams, leading teams, mentoring them. That should be the focus of a leader, actually. But the product itself wasn't really what was driving me. And it was a little bit of disappointment on my end because the people leading these organizations on the corporate side were not true leaders in my eyes. and there was a little bit of frustration. But when you have obligations, when you have rent to pay, when you have so many things that you need to take care of, then you just stay in the place. And I apologize for the ringing. You decide to you feel stuck sometime, but you don't have any other choice. So I was there for over 30 years. I built a career in the IT field, in consulting, here in the Washington, D.C. area. But my passion was truly building relationships, training people, mentoring people. Something happened less than a year ago where my position came to an end. I was laid off. Um, like everyone knows where that this area, the Washington D.C. area, has been through some drastic changes recently. Um, so my position came to an end, and the first thing I did was trying to find a job in the same field because that comes natural, that comes easy. Um, and then at some point, going through career options, interviews, I had sort of an epiphany, a moment when that I decided to stop and think. And in that moment, I said, okay, this is what you've done your entire life, but who are you? Because it's different what you do from who you are. Often people, you ask the question, who are you? And they will tell you, oh, I'm an architect, I'm an engineer. No, actually, who are you as a person?
Mm.
And I had that moment where I asked that question to myself. And I realized at that time that what I was doing wasn't me. And I thought, this is probably the right time at this point in my life to make this change. So I decided to reframe my life and to find my true passions where my art was. And because my art is in working with people, helping people, um, walking with them through a process and a journey that brings them to a different place. I decided to pursue a new career in coaching. And that's when I founded my company, my business, Axeris Studio. Right now, it's only me. Who knows, maybe someday will change. But so far, it's been extremely rewarding.
And I have this feeling that a lot of people are experiencing a very similar sort of aha moment or awakening. Something is going on, and being in that, corporate sort of world for 30 years, how do you just change? Like that's to me, that's the big thing. A lot of people I know kind of have gone into a career where they're like, I'm going to retire in this career. I'm just going to retire. And so that sort of sense of being stuck or being, this is my permanent, I'm going to live it out to this till I retire sort of thing. What gave you sort of that push, I guess, to do something different?
Sure. I have to be honest, I think in part is age, and seeing people even much younger than me getting, going to the hospital or losing their lives because of diseases. And just yesterday, I was around a friend of mine, and he walked into the restaurant, um, and we we usually meet with friends at a bistro here in town. So he walks down the bistro, and he looks like he lost so much weight. Um, his hair are much more gray. He looks very tired. So I talked to him and I said, "Are you okay?" And he told me, "No, I'm not okay." I ended up at the hospital. I was there for over a month, and they called my family to come from overseas to be with me because they thought I wasn't going to make it. He's about my age, but I've seen people 10 years, 20 years younger than me um, losing their lives. I getting to the point where if I don't do it now, if I don't find myself now, if I don't follow my art now, my passions, when is that going to happen? You mentioned people who want to continue doing what they do until they die. Well, if it's where your art is, by all means. If that makes you happy, by all means, do it. But if you feel like you're missing something and that you are not where you want to be, don't wait.
Yeah, life is short. It really is.
I know for me years ago, I was a stonemason for 27 years, and I actually really loved being a stonemason. However, the industry really changed, and it got to where you didn't need as much skill to be a stonemason. And it took me 5 hours, 3 nights in one week to make it home from work because of traffic. And I know that was the catalyst for me to go, I'm going in a different direction. And then once again, I was in that career that I picked for about 8 or 10 years, and it's like, this is really toxic and I don't want to be in this environment anymore. And that's kind of when I was doing some self-development work, and it came out that it's like, I want to inspire people. And it's funny, as we get old, it's like we don't want to cling to or older, I should say, we don't want to cling to the norm. And I watch so many people do it. I just stepped back into my industry for a minute, and I'm watching these people that are in their 70s still going to work. And I know they've worked in the industry for decades and they made really good money. And I'm like, what's wrong with this picture? Go enjoy your life. Like, and then I'm talking to one buddy and he's going, I'm going to work till 80 if they'll let me, because my dad died. He'd worked till he was 80 and he died 2 years after he retired. And it's like, well, 82 is a pretty good age to, like, it's older than a lot of people make it. And so I don't get the math anymore.
No, no, there is nothing worse than working in a toxic environment. And I work with people who were in that environment, including myself, and it impacts you, impacts not just your well-being, your happiness, but also your health.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, things break down, and we don't even realize the stress it does have on our sleep, on our body, on our mental health, on and then that trickles down to how we can show up for not only ourselves, but how we can show up or not show up for our family, our friends. And it really does, because when you think how much time you spend at work and how much time you dedicate towards that, and if it's not aligning with you, and your kind of like what you said, Stefano, with your heart, what you really want to do in your heart, then it's time to make a change, and that's difficult. So how did,
Yeah.
like, where did you find yourself when you like kind of had this, when you asked the question, who am I? What was next for you?
I had I paused and I tried to be in the moment with myself, just like when I meet with clients. It's good to slow down and find the moment. I was able to get to that moment and be able to be very honest with myself, and that doesn't come often. Um, and I feel blessed that I was able to get to that point and asking myself, what is your art? What do you like? What can you excel at? Um, recently I'm preparing right now for an exam for my ICF certification as a coach. And I started classes back in April, and I have a couple more months to go. But I decided to take early enough my practice test for the exam. So I took 80 questions and I got 100% right. And it made me feel so good. And I said, this is not because I'm reading a lot and I'm ready for the getting ready for the exam. It's because when you have a passion for something and you're doing something that you like, you enjoy, you truly enjoy, everything comes easier, including taking a difficult exam. It never happened to me before. I study I have project management professional certification. I study for different certifications and different things in the past. I never scored 100%. So it was revealing to me. And also, we were touching on toxicity and working in the wrong environment. When you start, I think there are some signals, things that you can look for that may lead you to reconsider things. When you start dreading, there is the Sunday dread of going back to work on Monday. When they start even sooner, like starts on a Saturday, or maybe even after leaving work on Friday,
Yeah.
something is wrong.
Yep. Oh yes, that is
What
a definite signal.
what is what do you think is the biggest motivator for people stuck and stagnant in jobs that they absolutely maybe not hate, but they know they don't belong?
Focus on yourself. Think that your health, your happiness, everything is gonna change if you follow your art. If you make a change.
No, that's not the question. What do you think is the biggest factor that keeps them stuck in the grind of the job that they know they don't belong, or they're just in fear of their paycheck, or like that sort of thing? Is that
Yeah,
more it?
it's fear. It's fear that if I leave my job, then I will be missing. I won't be able to pay rent. I won't be able to do this thing. I won't be able to take care of my family. I won't be able to do all these other things. Um, and it's great when you can move away from the fear and start maybe first identify or see what is that really drives you, what your art is, what your passion is, and then work on it. Um, don't have to necessarily pull the plug and quit your job. Then the next day, oh my God, your situation is even worse because now you don't have a paycheck, you don't know what to do, you don't know where to start. So my recommendation is once you know where you want to be, you have to work on a plan. You have to do it. You have to work towards it. Um, Once you have a plan and you know what needs to be done, then it will be much easier to make that change. That's what I do as a coach. I work with people and helping them through that transition because it's not easy. It's not an easy transition,
Oh,
and sometimes you cannot do it by yourself. You need someone to walk with you uh, through that journey.
Yeah.
do you also work with them to even find their passion where they might want to be?
Absolutely, absolutely. Everything starts with that. That's the beginning of the process, is to find within yourself where you want to be. And The steps, the action items, they will come later. It will be more natural once you know where you want to be to come up with the plan.
So someone who's listening to us today and they're considering a shift, what would be one question they would ask themselves if they were seeking, I guess, what their passion is? What is something they can ask themselves today?
They have to imagine the future. They have to stop and think how the future is going to be. Just dream.
Yeah.
Um, Imagine how the future will be and see yourself there, see the people around you, people, familiar faces, how they're going to react to your change. Um, Try to imagine as much as possible how your future can be. And, and then ask yourself, is this where I want to be? Or do I want to go back to the now?
Mm,
Um, and I think that that's a pivotal moment that will perhaps help you move forward.
I love that. I've just discovered an activity. I don't know her last name, but her first name is Magdalena, and she describes exactly what you're talking about, Stefano, about visualizing exactly what your future is. And so she speaks about writing as if it's 6 months. She describes it as a 6 month sort of time frame, but writing as if it's 6 months from the date you're writing, and to really be descriptive of what your day looks like that you're going through and how you're living it and how you're feeling it and the emotion and all that sort of stuff that comes with it. And that whole dreaming big, I think people don't let them do themselves let themselves do that very often.
No, unfortunately, you're in a hole, you're stuck in a hole, and what the tendency used to be my tendency, it's the tendency of most people, is thinking about all the negative things. You keep thinking, oh, my boss is awful. Oh no, Monday I have to deal with this person or that person. Oh my God. Oh, the commute. Oh, I'm gonna be stuck for an hour. And there is all this negativity that goes through your brain that really doesn't help. Um, you have to unplug from the negativity and plug in the positivity. And thinking about the future, I think, will help you through that process.
Yeah, the whole what you resist persists. Right. So being
Yes.
able to shift to the positive and see the opportunities. And for a lot of people, that is really, really very challenging because many people are stuck, and fear does really is very in what's the right word? Just very dominating in many people's lives. We see it everywhere, politics, social media, everything, and it is really challenging to shift. Do you have one sort of maybe activity or recommendation or something people can do to maybe make a possible shift to more positive thinking?
I go back to thinking about the future and thinking about, let's say, your dream is to become a teacher, literature teacher. Um, Maybe to help yourself and get to that point where you can start imagining, you can start reading or watching things that you feel like are going to inspire you. How can I imagine my future? I'm in a very difficult place right now. Well, pause, slow down, and as part of that, imagining the future, maybe immerse yourself or put yourself in touch with things that can help you starting that journey.
Perfect. Now, you had said, you know, things or people who inspire you. So I think about your comment, Stefano, where you said, I really want to help people. Kind of that's where your heart is at. So, I would think, and maybe I'm wrong, however, would do you recall someone in your life who was inspirational to you that kind of helped to trigger this, I want to help people, a mentor or a parent or a relative, someone who you kind of go, I really like what they are doing?
Well, I will say more than one person who really inspired me. But I had a leader in the past who unfortunately is not with us any longer. Uh, and he cared about the team. He built a solid team where the right players were there, the right players. There was trust, because building trust is very important. And he was a giver. Um, he didn't come across right away as that type of person, but he was a giver. And no matter what time of the day you will call him, he will be there mentoring you. He helped everyone on the team, and everyone loved him. He was the heart of the team, and he was a very inspiring person in so many ways. I traveled with him, and he wanted to save money to our company, so we will stay low budget hotels. He enjoyed having these long discussions, going for walks, long walks that in breaks. At those long walks, even if they involved discussions about work, they became almost like mentoring sessions. Um, I still remember him, and he was a true inspiration to me. And the team was rock solid. The team was performing. We had an amazing team. And he pushed me. He pushed me to get into a higher position as a manager. And he helped me. He helped me with the interview process. He helped me in so many different ways. So I still think of him. His name was Max, and Max will always be in my mind as an amazing person.
Was he management, or was he just a coworker? Because I find, and I believe, all the attitude comes generally from the top down. And because if you can inspire from the top down, the bottom grows. And
He was a coworker and a friend first, both. Um, he came to my wedding. We went to events together. Was a coworker, a friend, and then by title he was also our manager, program manager. But that was his title.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, he was running the team. He was my boss, but that wasn't important to him.
and
but
so go ahead, Scott.
top down, good attitude, top down, and inspiring people to rise rather than belittle them and tell them they're not doing up to par.
Here's a quick pause in the conversation to invite you to join our Facebook community, Soulmates and Suitcases podcast. Tell your story, amplify your voice, where we share upcoming guests, new episodes, and conversations from the podcast. And you can catch all episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now back to the show.
And that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. Being in a leading position is not just a title, but should be the primary focus of a leader is to work on the team, care for the team, have empathy, being a good listener. These are some of the characteristics that are indispensable for good leadership. Otherwise, you're just wearing a hat that says, I'm the boss. But what
Yeah.
does that mean?
Yep.
Do you coach leadership in your program for people to step up and be leaders of themselves? Because that's where it all comes
Uh,
from.
yes, that's becoming my focus. Executive coaching and leadership coaching will be my focus right now. Um, I'm still developing that. Most of my clients are focused on career coaching, and I will continue with life and career coaching, but I would also like to explore more and find clients on the executive side. Um, so, yeah, absolutely. If people are interested, they can reach out to me. I'll be happy to work with them.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Eh,
great.
eh, eh, And my passion, and I'm starting teaching some classes in leadership this summer. I have the program ready, and I'm ready to kick it off in July. But my passion is if I can even influence one person to be a good leader, that person will probably create new leaders. Um,
Hmm.
And that is my goal. My goal is to have an influence, no matter how many people, but to have an influence on one or more people as a coach and as an educator through my classes.
Yeah, that to me that's the ultimate. It's that ripple effect, right? So when you take care of yourself and then because you're taking care of yourself, you can instill or you can support or you can, put up that mirror for someone else to see the greatness in themselves and it just keeps going. And so that ripple effect is huge. Like a simple example, Scott and I notice here in Thailand, when you smile at any Thai person, you get a smile back and it ripples and goes elsewhere too. Like it's when you decide to show up and we'll call it do the work, but when you decide to do that, that ripple effect, you never know who it's going to
Absolutely.
positively influence or impact.
A little smile goes a long way, long way.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. This is the land of smiles, I think, in Thailand.
Well, even here in Canada, when I'm at Starbucks, when I kind of smile and I ask them how their day's going and get personable a little bit and interested. I find that really brightens them up because it's not like the humdrum. And I'm not saying everybody's humdrum that goes there, but they just go and order their coffee and done.
Yeah, and I mentioned influencing people and instilling some good values in even one person is important. Um, and the way I see it, one of my instructors likes to say, you can teach someone how to fish, and that person will be okay for one day. Um, Sorry, you can give someone a fish and that will help him for one day, but you can also teach that person how to fish and they can use that for life.
Yeah.
But even better, you can teach a person how to teach and that will multiply the number of people who can benefit from fishing.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. The leadership of self is huge, and some people come by it quite naturally, I feel, and others they need to be um, helped to see the leadership in themselves. And I think it sounds like that's what you're doing,
Yes.
which is great. Like we
Um,
it's amazing, yeah.
yeah, and it's something that you need to, getting back to people feeling oh, I can never do this, I cannot do that, and staying in that, stuck in that negativity. And most of us can become a good leader. It takes practice. You don't, people feel like, oh, I wasn't born a leader. You don't have to be born a leader. You can learn. You can walk in that direction, towards that direction. It's a learning process. Every leader has to go through that learning journey. It takes time.
It does take time. Any new skills takes time, and it's a skill. And new habits to form, and new patterns to form. Um, I'm going to go back and talk about something, that whole reinventing yourself. So, 30 years you're in that career of kind of the more corporate world, and then reinventing yourself. What what did you experience in regards to support from either friends and family, and then those who were like, "What are you doing?" and sort of, weren't sure how to take you in this new space?
Um, it was a mix of support and people trying to discourage me from doing it. So I would say people from a different generation, like my parents, they were probably pushing back more than others, um, because it's part of the my parents' generation to think, soldier on, suck it up and do it.
Yeah.
It's a job, Jobs are ugly, jobs are difficult. It is what it is. You just do it. Um, and then other people like my girlfriend, my friends, most of them encourage me to move forward. Um, and some didn't even know the specifics of what I wanted to do and what I wanted to get, but they could see my passion, they could see how much happier I was, and that was enough for them to say, do it.
Yeah. And when you have clarity on what you want to do, do you find support comes that much easier?
Oh, absolutely. Because when you have clarity, it will manifest. People will see it. When you reach that point of when you have that epiphany and you finally see your future, how it looks like and how to get there. Um, it will show. It will show. Even how you interact with other people. You're a lot more relaxed. You're more calm. You're more balanced, and people around you will feel it and they will react to it. It's like getting back to smiling. If people react to a smile with another smile, um, you're not walking around, with face that unhappy face, and and people sort of want to, in some ways, like, I don't know if I want to have lunch with this person. It's gonna depress me.
It's true. The vibe, the energy you give off is what you attract.
Absolutely.
Exactly what you talked about, the positive and the negative. Yeah. And so now do you feel like you're living in this kind of purpose-filled life now that you've found clarity in that sort of second part of your life? Next chapter.
I do. I do. I know this is where my art is. I have a plan. I'm working on it. I'm going through an amazing learning process, which will never stop. The moment you're not curious anymore, you don't want to grow anymore or learn anymore. That's that's where you're not, you probably kind of be stuck again.
Yeah, that's true. And there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with, doing this for whatever time that it aligns with you now, and that could change in 10 years or whatever. That's okay, right?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Do you find yourself from the beginning when you started that the direction you go in has kind of shifted just a little bit, and as you grow and change and learn new skills, how it kind of shifts? Because that's what we have kind of
Absolutely.
found.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, it it is supposed to be that way. The more you learn, the more, you open a new window and you say, "Oh my God, yes, that's a beautiful beach. Maybe I should go there." So as long as you're on the same path, and the path could slightly change for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and I have definitely experienced that throughout my journey, throughout my process, including um, wanting to focus a little more on executive coaching, leadership coaching, because it's in alignment with leadership classes I'm teaching. Um, so that was a little bit of a shift, but I'm still pursuing my dream, and um, making a change here and there is part of it's natural.
Exactly. Now, I can tell, Stefano, that you're a very positive thinking person, like open to opportunities and that sort of thing. But I am very curious, what was like the biggest challenge in this shift?
The biggest challenge is always the Buddhists call it the monkeys in your head. Um, so those monkeys that keep coming back, and they throw these little fears. Um, okay, what if you don't have enough clients? What if? All these things that keep coming back. And I I worked on it. I'm able to stop most of them. And of course, they're still there. It's part of human nature, and it's the way your brain is wired. Um, I believe the frontal part of the brain is the one that makes you dream, and the back is the one that's more in sync with uh, animals, where you have your animal instincts that bring you back to the fear place.
So give this good rubbing so you can do lots of dreaming, right? Yeah,
It's
very true.
being able to recognize, yes, I'm being fearful. I have worries, but it's time for those worries to pack them and focus on the positive.
Yeah, it's literally to say, "Oh, there you are, worry. Nice to see you, and I'm still gonna do this."
And there are studies that show also that optimistic people who tend to think positively, live longer.
I have the tendency when I come up to something, I got a shelf up here. I don't know where it is, but it's up here. And it's the shelf that I put stuff on so the universe can deal with it because it's not really my job. My job's just to show up and do the best that I can do today. And ever since I've kind of adopted that theory of the shelf, it's taken so much of the stress away. And I know it sounds simple, and some people would go, "Well, you're praying." And I'm like, "Well, maybe I am, but I'm putting it up there just so I don't have to deal with it. I need to show up to participate, but not get into the stress of what's going to happen today." And it's a kind of
Yes.
neat place to get to.
And thinking in a figurative way, just like you mentioned shelves, sometimes helps.
Oh yeah.
Picturing things, visualizing things, it helps. It helps with your train thoughts.
Yeah, it's the same when, well, similar lines, when we hear our parents or we hear someone else implanting that sort of fear back into us, like, oh, like, what are you going to do? What about yours? What about this? And what about that? And creates all those worries. And for myself, I just kind of go back to the whole understanding that's their story, not mine.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
It
their.
was funny, and I actually got to ask Lisa's dad this because I started talking about coming back to Vancouver, and I needed to renew my driver's license. And so it's like, oh, I'm going to go back to work for the summer, as well as the coaching we do online and as well as the podcast. And her dad was, I don't know if he quite said it, but he was like, it's about time. Like, that's what I heard. And I'm not sure if that's what he
Go
said.
back
And
to work.
part of he's going, why is it about time? Why do I need to go to work if I am enjoying what I'm doing with and helping people and inspiring people and some coaching on the side? And it's like that old norm of go to work and work till you're 65 and or 70 now that the retirement age has changed. And it's like what? My family, the average age of the males die at 72 to 74. So what? I retire at 65 and I have 7 years of my life to enjoy just doing activities. To me, that's
Yeah.
kind of a little silly.
Well, I think people from a different generation, and tends to be parents, they they mean well. They're
100%.
seriously trying to do what they think is better for you. But yeah, they're different people. It's not you.
Yeah.
Um, and I was talking to one of the other coaches the other day, one of my peers, and he told me about an experience he had to go through where um, he was stuck in a unhappy marriage, and there was a very steep disconnect between him and his wife. But he stayed longer in the marriage because his parents kept saying, "You cannot get divorced. There cannot be some financial implications. You have to stay with this person. Yes, we don't like her, but you have to stay with her."
Yeah.
Finally found that moment with himself where he decided to make a change. And he had a talk with his parents and said, "I understand, but I'm the person who needs to live with this person day in and day out, 24/7. And it's not your life, it's my life. And if I'm unhappy, I need to find a new way. I need to find something else." It takes courage, but it's a discussion that you need to have with the people who are not there to support you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and it can be very scary. You're right, it does take courage.
Yeah, I don't believe Lisa's dad's not there to support me. I believe 100% that he's right behind me, supporting me and cheering us on.
Yeah.
He just doesn't understand our way of life, and that's okay. He doesn't need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents were talking to me a few weeks ago about a friend of mine who decided to retire early. And I believe, is 60 or 61 now. And my parents, "Oh, we don't understand. He's still young. Why does he want to retire? What is his problem? How can you be 60, 61 and decide to retire?"
Yeah.
It's a different mindset.
Yeah, I suppose Scott and I are kind of considered retired, but we've been busier than ever and doing different things, different kind of work, if you want to call it work. It's been so much fun doing podcasts and meeting all these amazing people and sharing their story along with our story. And
Final pause. If you've got a message on your heart and want to be our guest, don't be shy. We'd love to hear from you. Visit forwardwalkingchoices.com, scroll to the Soulmates and Suitcases podcast section, and click Apply here. Now back to the show.
And it's just been this community building and building. And who would have ever thought that we were going to be doing this like 5 years ago? Never thought. And so it looks different, but I know I won't speak for Scott, but for me, it's like, wow, we're making, impacts in many places. Like we get lots of feedback from people, and they're so appreciative of the conversations and things they've never heard of before, or tips or little, wisdom pieces that they can take away. And it's like, yeah, we are, having an impact and supporting people through their day, through their life, through their whatever choices they're making. So we both never saw this coming. However, I think both for Scott and I, when we met, being okay with knowing that what we had to share was important was, I think, both on both of our plates when we met. And so we just kind of have grown that way since then. So it's been pretty incredible.
That's great. I really, really admire you for making this life change and having such an exciting lifestyle. Especially if you love to travel and you're doing what you enjoy doing. I really admire you. Um, and I want to just briefly go back to what I mentioned earlier of visually thinking of something positive that's gonna bring you there. And you made me think of it by talking about your lifestyle and how you live by traveling and doing things that you enjoy doing. And my girlfriend and I have started thinking of or dreaming of moving back to Europe, moving to Italy. And the other day I was talking to one of my instructors, the coaching school, and he lives in Italy. And he said, Stefano, are you coming back to Italy at some point? Do you want to move back? And I say, yeah, I'm considering it. I'm considering, and I'm thinking of maybe finding a place in Tuscany. And he said, oh, can I show you something? So he showed me the listing of a house on the countryside near Siena in Tuscany. And I was just taken back, like, oh my God, this is my dream place. And it happened to be on a day that my girlfriend wasn't feeling very well with work and with other things that she was dealing with. So what I did, I showed her the property, the listing, and put a smile back on her face. I was able to bring her from a place of where she felt stuck and she felt unhappy to a place where she has something to look forward to.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, being able to create, it's almost like we can go back and be kids again, if that makes sense. So have the joy of just imagining.
Absolutely. Yeah, we should all have the courage to go to the happy place. It can only help.
Yeah, you're right. It can. That's right. And that's one thing I discovered, that whole, I like what you're talking about, Stefano, about the imagining and really seeing, visualizing what it is, and having that picture of the house really helps, because and you can alter it how you need to, but being also able to have joy and even play in your day, play in your job, and whatever that looks like for you. But yeah, having some joy back in your life is what a lot of us need.
And it's not it's not easy to be able to switch and go from the negative place to a place where you can start dreaming. And people like us, like yourself, or like me, we can help people um, get to that place.
Yeah, definitely.
It took me years to get to the place.
So you know how.
Yes, I do know how.
You're
And a
from,
lot of
Eh,
it stems from the simple thing is a decision. The decision that you're not going to stop till you find the direction you want to be in.
yeah,
Since you walk through that path, that process, you bring value to your clients, the people you work with, because you can share that
Yes.
with them.
exactly. Exactly. Well, this has been an extremely, I would say important, I think that's the word I want to use, but a very inspiring conversation with you, Stefano. And I know a lot of people watching today are in that space of feeling like this is not working anymore and they're hoping for something different. And so I know you'll inspire those people today. And where can they reach out to connect with you?
They can check my website. It's called Axeris. My company is Axeris Studio. Um, if it's okay, I can show. Oh, it's
Might not
visible.
pick it up.
Oh,
I'll have it in the description as well.
It's
oh, oh,
Axeris
Yeah,
Studio, Studio. And if they go to www.axerisstudio.com, they'll go to my website, and that's the easiest way to reach me. And they can see what my focus is, what I work on, and how to get in touch with me.
perfect. Excellent. And yeah, we'll have all of that in the description. We just want to make sure we have an auditory, a little bit of that, because some people are just listening and not watching and checking on the description. But yeah, definitely go to the description and you'll see all of the information for Stefano. So thank you so much, Stefano, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
It's been
thank
a
you very
pleasure.
much. It's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you
And
both.
you're welcome. And for those who are watching or listening today, if you enjoyed our show today with Stefano, please leave a review or a comment and a thumbs up. And of course, share this episode with anyone, someone you love, someone who you think might feel stuck or is looking for a shift. Share it today. And as well, if any of our listeners would like to connect with Scott and I, you can always find us at forwardwalkingchoices.com. And if you'd like to be a guest, you can scroll down to Soulmates and Suitcases and connect with us. And again, thanks very much, Stefano. We appreciate your time and take care. I'll say
Oh,
thank you. Thank you from Thailand. I'll
Thank
say
you.
"Kapun ka." Thank you. And
and oh,
thank you. You're a very
thank,
positive person, Stefano. Thank you.
Thank
thanks
you.
to that. Bye.
All
Thank
right,
you.
take care. Thank you. All right,
Thank
thanks
you
so
very
much.
much.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Looking for more inspiration around healing, love, growth, and possibility? You can explore our books at payhip.com/Lisa Scott Brearley Authors. And if today's episode meant something to you, we'd love for you to follow the podcast, share it with someone you care about, or join our Soulmates and Suitcases community online. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.